Good morning, everyone. My name is Karla, and you've reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I'm involved in and a little bit of life thrown in. Today is Sunday. It is March 7th, and this is my FlossTube number 84. We are having kind of a gray day here in Southern California. It looks like it's gonna rain. I don't think that was on our little forecast, but I don't know. It looks pretty darn gray. We did have rain this week, and then we had temperatures up in the high 70s, and then it fell back down again. So it's looking a little bit crazy weather here. Doesn't know what it wants to do, but I'm okay with it staying cooler. I've talked about this before. I'm not a huge proponent of hot weather unless I am sitting by a pool and drinking fancy fruity drinks. Then hot weather's great. But if I'm living my regular life in my second floor apartment that has only mediocre air conditioning, I prefer the weather to stay cooler. I want to give a big thank you, shout out to Julie Martin this week for buying me a coffee. I do have the link below, the Buy Me a Coffee link, which is just a place that you guys can go if you want to give just a little bit of a monetary appreciation. It is completely not expected or necessary. It is very appreciated when people do that, and it's always a thrill when I get that little notification that somebody bought me a coffee. So thank you, Julie, very much for doing that for me this week. The Buy Me a Coffees and just your regular outpouring, the regular outpouring of love and support that you guys have given me, really over the past year and a half, but especially over the past month that I've been dealing with the loss of my mom, and it's just been very, very heartwarming. I've been talking the last couple of weeks about not, feeling like a sloth and not having energy to stitch, and I did better this week as far as stitching and stuff. But I'm not out of it yet. I was home all day yesterday. I had all kinds of plans in my head Friday, that so much stuff I was going to get done yesterday, and things I wanted to accomplish, both like chore type things and stitching, and I lay on the couch and did nothing all day until I had a game scheduled with my brother at 7 o'clock, and I gotta be honest, I almost called, with saying I had a headache and couldn't do it, and I'm like, no, I can't do that to the kids. They're excited about it. I enjoy it. Get up, get on Zoom. It's your brother. They don't care what you look like, and just play the game and have a little bit of connection and fun. So I know that's how I deal with that sort of mild depression that happens with this kind of loss. I don't do anything. And then I feel bad because I didn't do anything. So it's just kind of like this never ending repeating cycle. I kept looking at the clock going, 10 more minutes and I'll get up and do this, and 10 more minutes. And I just didn't do anything. I played games on my phone and I watched TV. I didn't even stitch. It was really kind of a wasted day, but I guess I needed it. I felt sleepy all day. I wanted to go to sleep, and I didn't really allow myself to do that because I didn't think that would be good for me. I guess it's better to do nothing than to sleep. I did do the dishes yesterday, so yay. One thing accomplished. I don't have a sink full of dishes. But I didn't get anything else done. So I'm working on that little by little. I've had people come on here and comment and say you're looking good, and it's nice to see your positive, cheery face, whatever. And I gotta say that I have to say thank you to you guys and the people who watch my floss tubes, because I find that doing the floss tube, I make myself put it together, get it together to do the floss tubes. I always try and dress a little bit nicely. I always do my makeup, and and it's not that I'm faking it, because when I get on here I really am enjoying it and enjoying sharing all the stuff with you. But it's like I make myself do that and enjoy it despite the fact that I don't feel like it sometimes. And I think it's one of those, you know, fake it till you make it kind of things. I think it's good for me. I think it's really good that I have this obligation, if you want to call it an obligation. I mean, obviously nobody's making me do floss tubes, but I enjoy it. And the fact that you guys give me such positive feedback really helps to keep me motivated to do it more. And the fact that I'm doing floss tubes keeps me motivated to do the stitching and do the things that are so good for me and my well-being. But sometimes emotionally, you know, you fight against doing things that are good for you. So, I mean, it's all, as I said, it's a vicious cycle. When I have a day where I do nothing, that I feel bad and blah, blah, blah. It's also a good cycle that I make myself do the floss tubes and be positive for the floss tubes for you guys. And that in turn does make me feel better. And so I want to say thank you. Thank you for being there for me and for encouraging me. And I will continue to do the floss tubes, and they will continue to start my week on a good note. So I hope that was clear what I was saying. You know, going through a loss of any kind is a process, and I had to do it fairly recently with my divorce. That was a devastating emotional thing for me. And then my dog was a devastating emotional thing for me when I had to put him down. All that happened before I started FlossTube, and then I started FlossTube. I shared all this stuff with you guys. You've been really supportive, and now of course I've had the loss of my mom, and I'm not going to get over it quickly, as we all know. But I'm glad I have you guys to kind of fall back on. You and my brother and my sister-in-law and my best friend and my friends at work. They're the people that keep me going, keep me from being being too much of a couch potato and you know, and wallowing in the feelings. Sometimes it's okay to wallow, but we don't want to wallow for too long. Okay, so fun things this week. I have been bringing you guys along on Stacy's journey. It's not even my journey. I'm kind of along for her ride, and then I'm bringing you guys along too. She finished her first cross stitch last week. That's so exciting. Except for the teeny tiny one that was kind of her appetizer cross stitch, but she did a real full-size cross stitch. She finished it last week. Is so excited about it. She's waiting to do the finishing of it with me. She ordered actually the same frame that that I put Logan's Baby Yoda in. So she ordered the same frame in white for her cross stitch, and I'm gonna help her do the actual finishing part on next weekend when I'm over there. I have to remember to bring a little bit of batting to iron on the back because she's concerned about her stitches and them coming out, and I think that's a fear that every like new floss or new stitcher has, is that what if it all unravels? And I don't think that it ever has for anybody, but that's always a fear. So I told her that we could iron on some interfacing, and that will help make sure that nothing unravels. So I have to bring that. But I'm going to help her frame it, stretch it a little bit. I told her what supplies to get. Not that I'm an expert, but I can do like very minor framing like that. And yeah, so we're going to do that next weekend. So she finished the one cross stitch, and then in the consecutive 2 days, she started 2 more. So she started her really big project, which I think she's aware that it's going to take a long time to finish that one, because it is sort of this watercolor book thing, and it is fairly large. And so she rightly so realized that if she was only working on that one, she might get a little bit burnt out. So she also started a smaller one at the same time, so she can kind of go back and forth, and she can have a finish of the smaller one while still working on the bigger one. Very smart way to do things. But I told her she's going to end up being a multiple project person. She's like, no, just one or just these two. And I'm like, yeah, it starts out like that. Just one, just two, just three, just 10. What did I say my first year? I have like 15 and I don't want to go higher than that. And then this past year I was like, I have 30. I don't want to go higher than that. Yeah. Famous last words. Anyway. So, yeah, so I'm excited for the journey that she's on and that I can kind of be a part of that with her. So, I think she might actually let me bring home the finished cross stitch next week so that I can show it to you guys. So I can be kind of like the proud stitching mama bear and show you. But yeah, that's what's going on that end. And then I do have something to show you. Well, two things actually. Let's show you the stuff that you've seen already. I showed you this last week, but I did put it in the little decorative hoop. So this was my very first cross stitch that I gave to my mom as a Mother's Day gift in 2019. And then obviously when she passed, I got it back. I kind of took it out of the finishing that I had. It wasn't very expertly done, I gotta admit. I had it like, I put it on a hoop, but then I kind of put the hoop in this basket and I had greenery around it. And it was really cute up on my mom's wall, but it wasn't how I wanted to keep it. So I took it all apart and then I just put it in these decorative hoops that I like. And I'm gonna hang that in my bathroom, as I said, because then I can see it several times a day. And so we have that FFO. This was done in 2019 and I showed it to you guys then, but since I got it back, I figured I'd show it to you again. This was Tribal Cat by the White Willow collection, White Willow Stitching. I did it for my mom, obviously, and I made it into an envelope backed pillow. This is the first like thing that I actually sewed on my sewing machine, and obviously didn't do like an expert job because it's not, it wants to gap. I should really put like a little piece of Velcro or something. But my mom had this on her bed and she loved it. This is the pillow that went missing for 3 weeks because it had been put on the middle bed in her room where there wasn't a patient, and it got under the mattress somehow when they were making her bed, and it was missing for 3 weeks, and we were both really upset about it, and then it showed up again. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I mean, I'm going to keep it, obviously. I mean, I made it, and I made it for my mom, so it means a lot, but I don't know. It's cute, though. Okay, and then the last thing that I have to show you as far as like finished things, this is, what do they say, blast from the past. Not my stitching, it's my mom's. I've been promising to show you guys this for so long, and as I said, I had these really nice plans of going over there and doing like an interview with my mom and showing her stitching that she had done in the past. And I kind of gotten her convinced that it would be fun for her to be on camera. And then this little thing called COVID happened and I didn't get to see her. So this was in the plans, and then of course, after she passed, I got it back. So this is Peaceable Kingdom. This is a crewel embroidery that my mom did probably about 50 years ago or so. I know I talked about what a good stitcher my mom was. This is a prime example. I'm gonna show you the back too, because we talk about having a nice back. This is the back. Like, if you were from far away, you couldn't even tell that was the back. So this, I'm assuming, was done with wool, wool fibers. Some of it is disintegrating. It hasn't been cared for properly. My mom's moved around to different nursing homes and stuff a lot over the last 15-20 years. She always took this, but there are places where the stitches are breaking. I don't really know what to do about it. It's dirty. I don't really know what to do about it except just keep it and hang it and love it and not worry about it. But let me see if I can show you some of the cool stitches up close. This is a turkey stitch, I know that. And there's more turkey stitch. Oh, in the L. I knew there was more. It's like right here. And then she actually did this lion's mane. She completely changed the colors because, remember, this was the 70s. We had wallpaper in our dining room that was like this weird, it wasn't stripes, but it basically looked like this. And she changed the colors to match the wallpaper. There's these like circular coily kind of stitches here and in the sheep. Lots of like satin stitch. You can see here where the threads are getting broken. What else is kind of cool? I don't know. I know my mom made changes to this. She was very, very artistic. And anyway, let me see if I can just pan it a little bit so you can see. It really is so gorgeous. So as I said, this is called Peaceable Kingdom. It's the whole lion laying down with the lamb thing. And this hung in our dining room for my good portion of my childhood. I don't know if my mom made this before or after my brother was born, but it was close around that time. And he's 50 and I'm 55, so this has been around a long time. So now I haven't shown you her, you've seen bits of her tapestry that she needlepoint. That's even huger, so I don't even know how I would show it. But I have these two pieces now, and as I said, there was a third piece that she had that I don't know where it is. We didn't get it back. So we have a email into the nursing home to say, hey, what happened to that? You know, if somebody took it because they loved it and they're going to display it and love it, then it doesn't bother me that much. But if it's sitting in a basement or something somewhere and it's going to get moldy and ignored, I want it. So it's of the 12 tribes of Israel. And yeah, so if I get that back, I will show it to you. Okay, so on to my work this week. I don't have any finishes, but I did have a new start. So this was kind of a out of the blue new start. I was talking to Amy Sprinklestein Stitches. She and I have become really friendly through messaging on Instagram and everything, and I really am valuing her friendship and her support. She's been so kind to me over the last month or so, and you know, she suffered a really big loss on Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, she lost her kitty, Grouchy, and it was devastating for her, which I totally understand. I still miss Frodo. You can see the diamond painting of him up there, kind of halfway. And I lost him in January of 2019, so it's been 2 years already, and I still miss that dog. I still have his tags on my keychain, and I think about him all the time. I really miss him. So I totally understand what Amy's going through. So she and I were working on Cats in the Rain together. That turned into kind of like a Sal honoring my mom. Because that was all planned before my mom got sick, before anything. But when she lost Grouchy, she wanted to do something kind of in honor of him. And she offered, she wanted to sell it with a couple of good friends, and she, being the kind of person that she is, she sent the patterns to the people that wanted to sell it with her. So she's like a very special person, and Anyway, so we were talking and she's like, I'm doing this style. Would you like to participate? And I was like, of course, I will stitch for Grouchy. And so the pattern that she chose was Chester's Place by Whistlestop Stitcher Designs. And I mean, it's obvious why she chose this, because the story behind this pattern is so cool. And so basically this pattern was designed by Jennifer Grace of Whistlestop Stitcher, because her sister adopted an elderly cat that needed to have some extensive dental work. And that, you know, animal dental work, just like people dental work, is super expensive. Aaron and Stacey just went through that with their dogs. Their dogs had to have lots of teeth removed. In fact, the little one had to have all her teeth removed except for her canine. So she just has 4 little teeth now. But she's feeling much healthier, which is good. Anyway, so Chester, the cat, needs to have dental work done, and Jennifer created this pattern and sold it as kind of like a fundraiser to pay for the dental work. It like sold so quickly. The dental work was paid for very quickly, which is like wonderful. And now any proceeds from this pattern are going to an animal shelter. I'm not sure. I'm sure it says which one. It said 200. This was as of 2/15. 200 copies of the pattern were originally released to cover Chester's vet bill, and it sold out in 12 hours. I mean, that's so wonderful. It's making me feel emotional. Because there's continued interest in the pattern, she said she's releasing additional copies, which will benefit the Smoky Mountain Animal Care Foundation, the nonprofit that operates the Blount County Animal Center, from which Chester and several other of her sister's cats were adopted. So 50% of the proceeds from these sales will be donated to the foundation. So that's awesome. And here's a picture of Chester in case you are curious. She is a cutie, a marmalade. Okay, so Amy sent me this pattern and I started it. So I had to pick a fabric quickly and pick my flosses. I did that all on Monday, I think. And I've been stitching on it all week. Now I am, because it's me, I'm going to make some changes. Excuse me, my lips feel really dry today. So she did these little animals down here. This is Chester. And then these are the other animals that her sister has or has had. And it's very cute. But I'm doing this pattern for me. So I'm going to adapt it into myself. So what I'm going to do is in the middle here, I'm going to make a tiny little rainbow representing the Rainbow Bridge. And then on one side of the rainbow, I'm going to make a little black cat, which is Baggy, my cat, and I'm going to make 2 black dogs, a little bit bigger one and a tiny one for my brother's dogs, Boo and Nala, because those are the 3 animals that are in my life right now and that are giving me the love. And then on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge are going to be a black and white dog, which is Frodo, my baby that I talk about all the time, that I lost in 2019. And then Herbie, who is my black and white kitty that I lost in 2016. Although he was 21 years old, I cannot complain. He lived a very long, full life. And then I had a tortie kitty named Liberty, who died about a year before that. And she was my girl. We had battles all the time, Liberty and I, over who was the alpha female. I won, but sometimes it was close. So yeah, so I'm gonna have the three most recent animals that I've lost on one side of the Rainbow Bridge, and the 3 animals that are currently in my life on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge, and that's what I'm gonna do at the bottom. So, and I think that will just make it super meaningful for me. Okay, so I started that pattern. Oh, and then the threads I picked, I think it's a combination of Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts, or I don't know, but I did it all with Gentle Arts. So I pulled my own flosses, as I do. I usually when I do that, I try and look at kind of the model stitch or the picture and kind of get an idea, and then I just pull something that I think will work. And I still have this in the hoop from stitching on it last night. I did want to actually kind of interject here and say, you know, I talked about this a couple weeks ago about getting this rechargeable book light. I don't know how I was stitching with before I had this thing. I mean, it is so wonderful to have something actually attached to my hoop. The light is wonderful. I don't think I could stitch without these now. I really don't. And I got a second one because the only thing with that one is it wouldn't work on key snaps. I found one that will. This one has a huge clip, and I did use it on a project that's in Q snaps this week. I will show you that in a second. But in case that was an issue for you, I did find one. So I can send you guys that link if you're interested. Again, both of these were under $15 on Amazon. Okay, so this is my start on Chester's Place. And I'm really enjoying it. This is not my typical kind of stitch. I don't usually do things that have these sort of motifs and borders and kind of samplery stuff, but I'm really enjoying it. And I love the meaning behind it. I love that I can be participating in the hashtag Sell for Grouchy, and that I can be supporting Amy that teeny tiny little bit in doing this for her and for the memory of Grouchy. And anyway, so I'm really happy with this, and I've been working on it quite a bit this week. Okay, so that's that one. And then the whips that I worked on, I also, of course, worked on Cats in the Rain, which is the style that I am kind of doing kind of in honor of my mom. It didn't start out that way. It started out because it would be a fun pattern to do, but then my mom died and it became kind of in honor of her. Madame Chantilly. I changed the colors, of course. And so I'm almost finished with this slicker. Started in on another cat here. Didn't finish this guy, and actually I didn't really realize this when I was stitching it, but I realized it when I showed it on camera last week. So this is like a dark gray, but it has a teeny bit of variegation, but the variegation like kind of happened right there, which makes it, I think, look weird, like it's a weird mouth thing. So I might pull out those few stitches and refill it in, because I don't like it the way it looks, kind of like a weird mouth. But then I started in on the white or light gray cat right here. And as I said, I didn't finish the slicker, but I got a lot more of it. I brought down the legs. The way it's charted, the legs are kind of like, got like striped tights on. I decided not to do the striped tights. I decided to do leg, and then I'm going to do little kind of like socks that are going to be the purple color, and then the rain boots will be matching the slicker. So that's where I am on that one. I'm really enjoying this stitch. As I said before, it's on a piece of BestitchMe opalescent linen. And I went online last night and I purchased some more BestitchMe fabric, or actually Friday, I guess. I ordered a couple more pieces because I looked through my fabric stash, and you would think, with all the fabric I have, because I have quite a bit, that I would have something that I wanted to use for the Gathering Place, which I'm going to be doing, not the Gathering Place, I mean, that's the company, for Night Creatures, which I'm going to be doing as part of my Cat Mania. That was gifted to me by Michelle Bendy, and I'm going to be using my MDA, Mystical Diamond Art, overdyed flosses for that. So I was looking for fabric because I was thinking about kitting it up, and I didn't find anything that spoke to me. I considered like a light, like a really bright magenta kind of thing. It didn't have enough of the night feel. I'm not a big gray fabric person, so I don't really have any in my stash. I have some gray purple ones that I dyed myself, which actually have the right mood in my mind, but didn't, but were kind of too dark for the colors that I wanted to use. So I went ahead and I went on to BestitchMe, and I ordered a couple pieces of fabric. I've been itching to buy some more from her anyway. It was an excuse, obviously, but I did order. I think I ordered a piece of sleet and a couple other ones that I thought might work. And so they're a little bit more what I would consider neutral than I'm used to, but I think it will work nicely for that. I'm trying to get kind of a moodiness that I'm looking for. I won't order I won't order fabric to order because I don't want to wait 8 weeks. I'm not that kind of person. If I put my money out, I want it. I want it sent in 2 days. So I like to look at the, you know, ready to ship section. She has some really pretty ones in there. She had a lot of like stuff that I guess she dyed for Valentine's Day, and they're beautiful. But I have a lot of fabric already that I've dyed or that I bought that's in that kind of pink. So I didn't want to order that because I really don't think I need it. So I held off until I decided I was going to kit up this night creatures and didn't have anything that spoke to me. So I used that as an excuse to go ahead and order a couple pieces. Okay. Well, that was a tangent. Okay, so I worked on Crosswind Collection Chickadees this week. This is a gift from my friend Tracy. And so you can see, if you remember from last time, none of this green was here before, so I kind of went ahead and pulled that down. And then I realized when I was looking at the pattern, I thought I had finished everything over here, but there's some back stitch on the branch that I haven't done. So I have to remember to not forget to go back and do that back stitch. Every time I pull this out, I enjoy it so much. It's just, it feels nice. I like the fabric. It's just, it's a very enjoyable project to work on. And then the last thing that I pulled out this week, and this is the thing that I had on the Q snap that I used this light with. And this is my Laurel Birch Cat Collage Kit. This is from Designworks. This is my New Year, New Start this year. Oops. Pattern. And I worked some more on this one. I really am enjoying this. The only complaint, if you want to call it that, is that the threads, although vibrant, are not as vibrant as the picture. They're a little bit more muted, faded. But I think that once I get more in and there's less white, that's going to be a less obvious complaint, or, you know, it's not going to, it's plenty vibrant, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not quite as dark as, the colors don't seem quite as saturated as they did in the picture. But I still think it's coming out really nice. And I like the kind of funky aspect, very Laurel Birch, obviously, but it's fun to do. And I like the fact that, you know, when I'm doing the back stitch as I go along, and it really makes it come to life. So I thought when I first started this, because it is pretty much full coverage except for this top, I thought I would do it the way I typically do my full coverage, and it's not turning out to be that way. I'm doing more, I guess there's no actual word for how I'm doing it. It's not color completion, and it's not cross country, and it's not typical diagonal stitching. You know, I do tend to park, but I'm not counting parking. It's like if I use like this gold thread, it's an accent thread, and I don't want to keep cutting it off. So what I've done is I'll stitch, and then I know it's going to be used kind of down here, so I go and just kind of park it down in that area, and then when I get closer and do the counting, then I pull it back through and put it where it needs to go, if that makes sense. So there's nothing hanging now because I have used all the threads, but if I'm using a color that then I finish the area that I'm doing that color in, and I know it's going to come up soon, I go ahead and kind of park over in that area and don't cut things off. So part of it is laziness. I don't like the cutting off, and I like being able to, these are all like DMC type threads, so I like being able to do the loop start. And you know, part of it is just the technique to keep it kind of neat, and part of it is just being lazy. So, and as I said, I got this second clip light, and the clip is definitely big enough to fit on key snaps. And then super bright to stitch with. And yeah, so it works really good for me. Okay, so that was all my whips for this week. Plans for the coming week, basically, I might be some more kitting up of the couple patterns that I have that I'm preparing for April and May. I need to kit up Bellatrix, and which I think I'm gonna start in April. I already kitted up the thing for my mom, which I'm gonna definitely start that in April. And then in May for my Cat Mania, it's gonna be mostly whips, but I have 2 or 3 patterns. I still haven't totally decided. I'm definitely gonna do the full coverage one, and I've started to kit that up, and I started actually doing a video on kitting that up, so I need to finish kitting it up and finish the video. And then I'm definitely going to be doing this Night Creatures, and then I have the other 2 that I picked that I like, but if it might be too many whips, especially because I've added a couple in the last month or so. So I might not kit those up right now. The Black Cat on the Pumpkin, which I really think is a cutie, I might actually save that and start that in August for my Black Cat birthday sale. I don't know if Night Walk Down is going to be finished by then, which is my Black Cat birthday style that I started in 2020. So I haven't decided, if I haven't finished that, if I'm just going to continue or if I'm going to actually have a Black Cat birthday style new start. I haven't decided that yet. Okay, so kitting up, and then videos, as I said, I still need to finish or continue and finish the video of the kitting up my Heaven and Earth designs. And I have another Universal Yums tasting box that's sitting on my table. I did the January one kind of late because of everything that happened. And the day that I actually did that one, I got the February box. So I haven't done the February box yet. And I was thinking about doing it maybe this afternoon. But while I was on Zoom with Aaron and the 2 older kids yesterday, Hudson was with his mom in the bedroom, and before he goes to bed, he gets to watch some TV, some YouTube or whatever. And apparently he was watching his favorite YouTuber last night, which just happens to be his Aunt Karla. So I think he picked to watch one of my tasting videos, and he came running out and he's like, Aunt Karla, I love the Universal Yums boxes. Can I have whatever's left over? So basically they used to get the Universal Yums boxes, and Hudson really liked them, but Stacy stopped getting them because she felt, first of all, it wasn't fair to Reagan, because Reagan can only eat like maybe 1 or 2 things and there were ever in the boxes, because she can't have dairy and she can't have gluten, and a lot of the things aren't labeled that way, so there was a lot of stuff she couldn't eat. Logan's a little picky, so there was a lot of stuff he didn't like. Hudson really liked it, but she just felt like it wasn't worth the money for so many kids that couldn't eat. But Hudson kind of misses getting them, and when he saw that I was getting them, he's like, can he share with me? So I thought it would be really cool. I'm going over there next Friday night, spending the night and being there Saturday. I thought I would bring my February Yums box, which is the Ukraine, I believe, and I'm going to open it and do a video with Hudson. So it will be a tasting of not only my opinion, but a very opinionated 6-year-old's opinion. So that should be fun. I will enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Okay, so that's basically plans. And then I'm going to continue with the projects that I've been working on, my friends and family focused projects, and yeah, I mean, everything I showed today, except for the cat collage, is really friends and family focused, and cat collages for me. So, haul this week, the only thing that I got was I got a set of the 3 decorative hoops. And I showed you one that I used, the biggest one that I used for the bluebells, the realist bluebells. And then I have 2 more. I really like these for doing finishes. Apparently, Stephanie from Just Keep Stitching discovered these hoops and mentioned them, and now they're a big thing. I talked about them months ago, but I'm not a big thing. So anyway, they are great. I haven't ever used them for stitching on. I just use them as finishing. I think they're super easy to use as a finishing piece, and they look great. So for me, that's a win-win. And yeah, so that's all I had for haul this week. As I said, I did put in a BestitchMe order, so it might come in this week. And I think that's about it. Yeah. So I was going to say it's been a shorter video, but it really hasn't, because I tend to like jabber along. Anyway, so let me give a big thank you again for everybody stopping by. I don't think I welcomed anybody who was a new viewer. If you're a new viewer and you managed to last this whole time, then congratulations to you and thank you so much. And if you are a continuing subscriber, you know how much you mean to me. I hope you know. So until I see you again next week, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.